Michaela. I am a Kiwi who's moved to Germany to do my PhD at the University of Tübingen, and this is our apartment. Basically, we moved to Germany in December of 2021, and then in January 2022 I started my PhD, but Tübingen is horrific to find accommodation. It's really difficult, and so we've been living in Stuttgart for the last 8 months, and we've finally moved. We got student accommodation through the university, so this is our, like, I don't know, what do you call it? Student dorm, but it's not a dorm because it's just our apartment. Anyway, Luke's behind the camera, he's my husband. And welcome to the apartment tour. I'm so excited. We've spent like the whole day cleaning it up and rearranging things so that we can... Why are you scratching? He's gonna pick it up. You're like the worst cameraman. Anyway,
the whole day.
We've spent half of the day cleaning up and rearranging things so that we can finally do this tour. Because this is actually all out of order. It's currently the beginning of November. We moved in at the end of August, and I just haven't got around to this yet. Anyway, you are standing in the entranceway. That's the door, which is weirdly painted. I don't understand it. I don't know, it looks like a bird pooped on it.
It's not bird poop, it's sticky, I promise. It also needs some acoustic treatment.
It's really awful, but we don't want to have anything here, so we've like...
Fire hazard, apparently.
Yeah. Besides Luke's shoes, which I got some intro for, but that's fine, it's all good. Anyway, we're gonna go this way. We'll go into the lounge first. It's a little bit, I don't know, crazy. Down here we've got our washing basket because we actually originally had it in the bathroom, and
very important.
It was just cluttered, so for some reason it's less cluttered out here. Anyway, we've also, something about Germany, they have like 1 million bins, which is really great for recycling, but really cluttered when you're in a small apartment. So this is one of our bins for the Gelbesack. And then if I come into our living room slash
the other room, dining
area slash kitchen, basically it's a little bit haphazard. We have very little space and a very tiny kitchen. It's a much smaller kitchen. Much smaller than our kitchen in Stuttgart, which we thought was small, but this is now smaller, and it's one of the things that we were a little bit concerned about moving in. I don't know if I've said yet, but our apartment is 30 square meters?
I think it's 30.
I think it's around 30 square meters. So it's the same as what we had in Stuttgart, but different arrangement, which is why we wanted to get this one, and we're happy with this one. So we'll start with the kitchen. It's kind of spread this way because we had enough appliances that we wanted to spread it out. So we've got like our coffee machine that we had in Stuttgart, but it's on its own little shelf. And we've got a little coffee station with our teas and coffees and my pumpkin spice, which is kind of underrated because, to be honest, it just tastes like a chai latte. But we're not going to go there because people, I'm sure, will find the difference. We've got the bananas and our drink station. And then we've just kind of got like
functional
knick-knack functional things. We kind of wish that there were doors on this, but apparently cupboards with doors aren't a big thing here, we found. Anyway, that's kind of like our coffee station. And these, there were 2 of these bookshelves here, which were originally pressed up against this wall. And we moved it around because, like I said, there's just no kitchen space otherwise. This is our like dump zone for our dishes when they're dirty because we don't have much counter space.
There is no counter space.
There is literally.
It's a drainer and a stovetop.
Yeah.
There's
and
no
the drainer
counter.
itself is really small. So we've kind of just been using this for dirty dishes. I don't know what else to put up there, but anyway. And then we bought this oven on
Amazon.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said Trade Me. Amazon. Trade Me's kind of like eBay in New Zealand. But we bought this on Amazon and it's been great.
Fantastic.
So fantastic, especially because we've only got a 2-burner. And so it's just been so much easier to do. We've done like roasts and I've done a lot of baking, which is wonderful. It's actually got a rotisserie function, which functions really well. Luke did a really good rotisserie chicken. So yeah, it was great thing. I actually unboxed it, I think, in the next vlog that is coming up. So it's all a bit out of order, but that's fine. And then we've got our TK Maxx things. I'm gonna constantly plug these because these are life-changing. Are they silicone?
Silicone oven mitts.
Silicone oven mitts. I'd never heard of them until Luke told me about them when we bought them from TK Maxx. And you're just like, you're always gonna stick your hands in the food. And it's just, you can just wipe it off rather than having to put it through the wash. And then we've got our like functional plates and bowls and cups. Keep cups. And then these we had in Stuttgart, but it's just like our cutlery holders and cutting boards and so forth. And then it's kind of like our cleaning cleaning items, our reusable bags for the supermarket, and then our gardening stuff, because even though we have no gardening area, we have lots of plants. Luke's become a houseplants person. And then moving over here, we've got the 2-burner, like I said, which is so much more powerful than our 2-burner in Stuttgart. So I don't know what was going on with that kitchen in Stuttgart. But anyway, we've got the 2-burner and then the tiny little dish
drainer.
What's it called? Dish drainer, thank you. And we actually bought one of these off Amazon. Because I saw, I think, Kristen Johns? I think it was Kristen Johns, she's another YouTuber, but I think she bought something similar. And I realised it's something that we just need to have. And it's been great, because it's got the double layer. So that kind of fits on there when we need to do some dishes. The only problem is, that happens because I'm too short. Okay, it's away. We'll leave that be. And then we finally have a light. I think I complained about that a lot in our Stuttgart apartment because there was no light over the kitchen and it was all backlit and difficult to see things when you're cutting. Anyway, just standard drainer everything. We've got a tiny little fridge again, like last time. Probably should have cleaned that up a bit, but you know, standard fridge. And then under sink storage, which there's not really that much space. So we've got 2 more of our bins. We've got 5 in total, so 2 under here.
And some kitchen towel and Michaela spilled some water.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Sorry, I just spilled some water, so ignore the kitchen towel. We've got carpet in our kitchen, which I do not understand why you'd ever have kitchen in our carpet. Nope, carpet in our kitchen. I don't know why you'd ever do that, but anyway, we've got kitchen towel soaking that up. And then overhead cabinets for the first time ever, which is incredible. So we've just got like our pots and pans and dish towels and all that. Anyway, what we just rearranged was we actually had the couch and the table switched. But because there's just no kitchen storage here or no like cutting place because it's such a small drainer, we decided to put the table here so that we can actually use it for preparation.
Because it was there against the wall.
Yeah, and so it looked a lot more aesthetic because the couch lined up with my desk, but do you know what? We're just gonna get over it. We've now got our own like couch area, dining area, nope, lounge area separate from the dining area. And then underneath, sneaky, we've got our 2 more bins because we have 5 bins.
We actually need 1 more bin because glass and plastics are currently in the same bin.
Yay. Anyway, so that's our like dining table, and it's actually really nice because I'm gonna decorate this for Christmas. But then also it means that we can actually have a meal at a table, whereas when it was pushed in the corner, we couldn't really sit there.
Because I only had one side that was exposed.
Yeah, and now it's got 2. So yeah, and then we've got our couch. We bought our couch on eBay Kleinanzeigen which if you're from New Zealand is like the trading equivalent. Otherwise, if you're from anywhere else,
Private sales.
pretty much, yeah, private sales. And it's an IKEA couch that cost us, I think 50 euros or something. It was
50 or
really
60.
cheap. 50 or 60, it was really cheap. And they delivered it to us, we don't have a car, just for like I think 10 euros or something. And it was so easy to put together, so I'm very happy with that. And then to complement it and make it look like a lounge, because my friend in New Zealand says you always need to have a mat to make it lounge. And I totally agree. We bought this on Amazon Prime. And I just love it. I feel like it's the perfect amount of fluffiness without being psycho, and you can actually vacuum it. So yeah, this is kind of like our lounge area. And like I said, it was pushed up, so it sat in front of my desk, which kind of worked as like a TV thing, but we're just gonna have to kind of sacrifice the aesthetics and pull the monitor out if we want to watch TV. And then Luke's got all his houseplants, which you'll remember from the last place. We're actually gonna spread them around. One thing that's very cool is he's bonsaiing our avocado plant.
Somewhere between bonsaiing and escalating.
It's very cool.
But it's grown a second one, so it's actually looking like a little tree. It's fantastic.
And then the lamp came with the apartment. I should probably actually say what came and what didn't. So the bookshelves that have the coffee and the oven, coffee machine and the oven on it came with the apartment. The table with the 4 chairs stacked funny came with the apartment. The lamp came with it, but we bought this in this. And then coming around here, we've just got like another wardrobe. They've got 2 of these, one in each room, which I assume is if it's not a couple sharing here.
But then somebody's sleeping in the kitchen, so.
Yeah, it's just kind of strange.
I think they just bought furniture bulk and just threw them into the rooms.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, we're just using it as like
Pantry.
extra storage. We've got like our extra coats, my guitar stuff, and then more pantry stuff. So nothing exciting. So this came obviously with the place, and then we've got my desk, which is where I live basically. This came with the apartment, and a desk came with the apartment. These chairs we bought on Amazon, and we had at the last apartment that we lived in. They're actually great chairs. They're super cheap, and there were so many complaints about them, but they've been incredible chairs, so I will not complain.
Complaints as in bad reviews.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No complaints from us, they're really comfy.
So the desk came with the apartment. We bought the monitor stand and monitor on eBay again. Nope, Amazon again. And that was all in our last apartment. The laptop stand was in from Amazon. This is kind of the setup that I've been having, and it's great to have the double screen, and yeah. So then I've got my electronics down here. I bought this recently, and I love organization. We're gonna buy something to go under here, because I saw that Jenna Hong is another YouTuber that does like all organizational stuff, and her partner has one of these but with a drawer, and I now really wish I bought the drawer version, but I didn't, so we're just gonna buy some trays to go under here. And so here we've got organization for my electronics, and then I just bought, these dividers came with this, so I've just got like my stationery, everything, and it makes me so happy that it's all organized. And then yeah, just like extra bags and plants, and this lamp also came with the apartment. And then this is pretty much the same setup that I had in Stuttgart. I've kind of rearranged things a bit so it's a bit neater, but I've just got like the wall calendar and then the Polaroids that we've taken of our travels. And then Luke's plant, which is incredible.
It's making its way down.
I'm loving being able to see this.
It's very cool, apart from when you put the candle underneath it. Poor plant.
Apologies. And then we've kind of already done this. So that's one of the 2 rooms. Germany lists things really weird. So we'd call this a 1 bedroom because it's a
one bedroom,
and then like a separate lounge. But this is considered I think a 2-room apartment.
Because there are 2 rooms.
And so it just got very confusing when we were figuring out like 1 room versus studio and so forth. Anyway, if we go this way, we have our lovely bathroom, which is tragically smaller than our last bathroom, but it's just something that you've got to deal with. So we've got no under sink storage, so we've got the boxes that we had in Stuttgart. no oversink storage, so we're just using the shelf. Storage is not a great thing in this apartment, but it was really good in Stuttgart, so it's one thing that we've had to kind of get used to. But there's still plugs in the bathroom, which I am forever grateful for, because in New Zealand and England, it's not a thing.
For safety reasons.
For safety reasons. But then, like, I don't know, like, guys shaving, and like, I generally straighten my hair in here. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't have plugs in the bathroom. Anyway, our shower is much smaller than our one in Stuttgart. If you remember, that was like a luxurious shower. And we've transitioned back to the shower curtain, which Luke and I both hate. We like having, like, what is it made of? Is it plastic?
Either glass or plastic.
Yeah, and it kind of just opens and closes, but obviously we're in student accommodation and we can't change those kinds of things. So it came with a different shower curtain, which blows way too much.
Blew in like over 50% of the base, which is already small, which meant you couldn't not be touching it.
Yeah. So we bought this on Amazon, and it's a weighted shower curtain, and then we accidentally bought the wrong size. It's like the right length, but not the right height, which ended up actually being a bit of a blessing in disguise, because we bought extensions to put at the top, and then it actually means that the hot air
It's
goes out over the top.
a bigger vent space at the top rather than going floor to ceiling, so it doesn't blow around as much.
It's brilliant. So I definitely recommend that if you have the same issue. And then we bought these on Amazon because there's also no storage. Otherwise, I mean, there's this, but for two people it's just not very big, because we use two different products. But, I mean, it's kind of everything in the bathroom. It's not very exciting. There's actually a heated towel rail, which is awesome. Probably going to be helpful in winter. And then we've got a bedroom, which I was actually going to start with this closed, but I didn't. We've got a door, and this is...
I think it's fallen off the rail.
It has fallen off the rail.
You can't access the rail very easily, so that's a
So
job for another day.
Anyway, it's got a door, which was the main thing that we were happy with. We actually got offered another place at the same time that we got offered the student accommodation. And it was in a much better location, but it was double the price. And it was actually like quite a bit bigger. It had a full kitchen. So we were trying to toss up. That was probably going to be a lot more of a long-term option, because we've only got 2 years here. But if you remember from our Stuttgart apartment, we were in a studio apartment, and Luke works entirely from home. And so him taking video calls or recording stuff for work was really difficult. If I was like, wanted to make a tea, or if he had 3 calls in a row, that's 3 hours where I couldn't really make any noise, which is fine, like we just got used to it. But the fact that this place had a separate room with a door has made such a difference. Obviously, I speak very loud, and that's something that I'm learning to speak quieter so that there's not as much sound transfer. But it's been really nice having the door to actually close and feel like we have a separate space. Not that I can do a very good job of opening and closing it. Anyway, this is our bedroom. The bed came with the apartment, which is great because it meant that we didn't have to buy anything. Apart from the fact that this is the worst mattress I've ever slept on in my entire life. And I ended up with such bad back and neck pain that I was getting up like 5 or 6 times in the middle of the night. So it's
very thin foam mattresses.
Yeah. And then they're also, it's a big thing in Germany, I don't get it, but every single furnished apartment that we've been in, which is only 2, but I also know of like when you go to hotels and stuff, they just have 2 single beds pushed up together. But in this case, and in our Stuttgart place, there's a gap in the middle.
Because they are framed in the mattress insets.
So there's like 2 frames in the middle, but it means that we've literally got 2 separate single mattresses with a massive gap in the middle, which I kept falling into. It is not fun. Anyway, because of the poor quality of the mattress, we actually bought a mattress topper from Amazon. And I can link it below because it was really good. We looked into memory foam, gel, is it gel foam or is it gel something? And then
this cold foam.
Cold foam. And we're looking at the 3, and we ended up getting a gel plus memory foam mix. So I think it's like 5
centimeters overall.
5 centimeters overall, and maybe 1 centimeter of that is the gel part. Something to do with heat control and everything, and because Luke's a really warm sleeper and I'm quite a cold sleeper, it ends up being a good mixture for both of us. So we've got that over the top, and it has made the world of difference. So if you're wanting a mattress topper, I would highly recommend this one. The only problem as well is that all of our like duvet and pillows and duvet sets and sheets and everything we bought for a queen bed because that was kind of the size that we had in Stuttgart, and now because of the massive gap in the middle it was too small.
Slightly bigger than a king.
Yeah, so we had to buy new stuff for the sheets, and we've just got now like a small duvet rather than the sprawling duvet, which is fine. It just looks a bit silly sometimes. Anyway, that's the bed side of it. And then Luke's got his desk, which is pretty much, to be honest, the same as mine. It was pushed up against this wall so that he could look out, but because he, like his entire job is video calling and recording videos, it didn't make sense to have, well, didn't make sense. It was less professional to have like our bed in the background. So we've actually swiveled it around and now he's got a white space at the back, which has actually been pretty good. I don't feel like it encroaches at all, especially because you don't spend much time standing beside the bed during the day, and so it's really not a problem. It's also meant that we've now got like a bedside unit, kind of, because where I've got my electronics box, Luke has been storing the books that we've been reading at night, and then we've got our diffuser, which was also from Amazon. So really it's been actually not too bad having it this way.
It also means nobody can walk through the back of.
Yeah,
Michaela can come in and get stuff out the cupboard, and
there have been a few work calls where I've been sleeping while Luke's been taking his work call. It's actually worked out quite well that he's able to stay that way. And then a beautiful monstera, which Luke has on his desk, and he's got his ring light. Pretty simple. He's got more plants on the windowsill. And then this is the same cupboard as in the other room. It's like the same dimensions and everything. And this is where we've got our shared clothing storage. It's just like hanging on this side, and then this side's just shelving. And then we've got like towels and extra shoes and gym wear, and like it's just basically extra storage. I'm quite short, and so I can't really access the stuff from the very top, so that's more our long-term storage, like travel bags and stuff like that.
all my shoes.
And all of Luke's shoes, he's very tall. And then just to the side, we've got the table that was my desk when we were in Stuttgart. This folds up and comes underneath so that I was using it as where like my monitor was, but I've kind of just got it as you don't have makeup, as my makeup stand, but then also like all our medication and everything, because I found that I always forgot to take it earlier, so I'd take it before bed, and since it's here, it's just tidy. Yeah, we bought this furniture, this and the bookshelf, when we were in Stuttgart because there wasn't much of this kind of thing for two people in our apartment, and we didn't want to get rid of it because we've only got this apartment for 2 years, so we're missing an extra year for when I finish my PhD. And so we thought we might as well keep it and use it as storage so that we can use it and then have it if we move into our next place, because we can't do student accommodation again, and so I'm going to assume that the next place we move into is probably going to be unfurnished. So it's nice to start off with something, it's just less stuff to buy later on. And then we've got just like our workout mats, and then our bookshelf. I did a whole video on our bookshelf when we got it in Stuttgart because I was so excited to have a bookshelf again. But it's pretty much just got our different books and then the games that we have and hot water bottle. And again, like it's pretty much how we did it in Stuttgart, separated between like the German Bible that Luke bought me for my birthday / notebooks / the books that we're currently reading, and then all the fiction books, and then my university books, and then kind of extra non-fiction stuff that Luke was reading and or a book that we got given. But yeah, that's pretty much our entire apartment. It's pretty nice. Like I said, it's 30 square meters, but it really feels bigger than our place in Stuttgart because that was also 30 square meters. But because we've got the separation of the 2 rooms, it feels so much bigger, and we get really good light on either side, but we also have a lot of privacy with trees, which obviously we can't show you right now because it's nighttime. I was going to do this during the day, but anyway, we got busy redecorating. But yeah, it's really nice light that comes in on either side, and yeah, I hope that you liked this. I really struggled to find any photos or videos online of University of Tübingen student accommodation. It's really, I don't think they care about advertising it because they get so many applicants. But I thought that it might be nice to make a video of it so that if there is somebody, obviously all the apartments are different, but this is an example of one which is for 2 people. And it's working really well for us, and I'm just stoked that we get it for 2 years because it means that we don't have to find something for a long time. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Now that we've moved to Tubingen, there's going to be a lot more content that doesn't involve taking 3 hours of trains. So I'm really excited to just have more time here and get used to Tübingen life, and yeah, I will see you with another video very soon. Bye! Goodbye from Luke as well.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today.